Hello guys, once again. In the background, what you're going to hear are people talking about Brexit. This is what is happening. Everywhere, people are talking about Brexit in the political class. Not necessarily amongst the normal people, but definitely within the political class. This is Carlton King, your Black Ops man, a man who was an ex-spook and counter-terrorism operative and bodyguard, you name it, I've done it, in the national security and secret intelligence world. Right, straight in, Brexit today, my friends, and what I'm going to talk about is this.
Over a period, gave them impartial evidence. I think they've come up with a sensible decision.
What about 34 million voting?
Right, so basically what the argument is, as we already know, is should we have a second referendum? Right, the reality is this, I'm going to say it again, I've said it before, but I'll make it much, much clearer. The problem in the United Kingdom is actually relatively simple. Britain has, and the British people have, in general, like anything, there are always exceptions, but in general, and by the way, I'm British, as British to the core, the island, if you will, from where my parents hail, in fact, there are two different islands. One of them's been a British area of responsibility, you could use the word colony, since 1625. So that's not 1625 yesterday afternoon, that's 1625, okay, 400 odd years ago, okay? So, you know, Brits need to understand that. You know, people from the Caribbean heritage, and by the way, people from the Caribbean heritage, generally, their heritage isn't solely from the Caribbean. Because they're people from the Caribbean, they generally have heritage from some English, Scots, Welsh, you name it, Northern Irish connection within that, because those people went out there, and because of the slave trade, first and foremost, they could take whatever woman they wanted, that's in one way, but secondly also, in latter stages, people married other people, and within me example, there's a whole host of British island people, yeah, who are my grandparents, great-great-grandparents, whatever. So, you know, I'm as British as the next person. So when I say this, I'm saying it with that in mind, and a person who has served their country for more than 35 years in every war, in every political area, as a spy all over the world. Right? I'm saying it to you. British people, in their general rule, have an inflated view of Britain's capacity. I'll say it again. British people generally think, I'll make it even clearer, that Britain is greater than what it is. And the reason for that is that the political class has not told the British people that actually we are now a middle-ranking country with some great hangovers from an imperial past, like a seat on the UN Security Council with nuclear weapons, but they don't help our industry or our capacity to sell goods or our capacity to be around the world. Yes, the English language does, and that helps generally now because the United States is the most powerful country by far in the world. Okay? So what I'm saying to you is that our position is a reflected glory from the past, our connection to the United Kingdom, to the United States, but most importantly, this is what you shouldn't forget, is our position within the European Union, acting as a bridge between the United States, between the colonial past of the countries that Britain used to run 3/4 of the world. You know, people my age will remember that the map was pink for 3/4 of the world. So when I went to school, I'm born in this country, and when I went to school in Britain, the map was 3/4 of the world pink. It quickly dissipated from the 50s onwards, but that was what the colour of the map was. And that colonial past has a consequence for today, sometimes positive, other times negative, but because of the Commonwealth, there's an inherent connection there, good or bad. So this is what the UK's position in Europe was able to utilise to get the best advantage for the United Kingdom. Outside of the European Union, we fall back to being a middle-ranking small country with very little influence out with the European Union. I want everybody who's going to listen to this and say, I'm talking a lot of crap, or even those who think it's good, what I want you to do is look up what I'm telling you, understand where we sit, and tell me how I am wrong if you think I am. Tell me what greatness Britain has to offer out with the European Union that's going to make us great. That's it. Dead simple for today, guys. The discussions are still going on behind, as you can see from Adam Bolton. And the fact is, journalists, politicians, the rest need to tell the public, that is the British public, where we sit. In ending, we are the 5th largest economy in the world. But understand that Germany is the 4th largest economy in the world, which is a 3rd more powerful than us, i.e. its economy is a 3rd stronger than ours, like $1 trillion worth. France is the 6th largest economy in the world, nigh on exactly the same as ours in terms of GDP. And Italy is now about the 9th, could be moving into the 10th, which economy is, again, not that much smaller than ours. So you really need to look at where we are. So when you put all of the EU 27 together, the largest GDPs in the world are as follows. And I need to say this so you can understand what I'm telling you in terms of where we are. First and foremost, the United States, by far the most powerful, 18 trillion plus. Then comes China, something in the region of 13 trillion to 14 trillion dollars now, moving up. Then it drops massively to the EU, which is something like about 6 trillion if you count the EU 27 as one. And then comes Japan, which is 4 trillion. Then comes Germany, 3.984 trillion, round about that area. And then it drops down to us at 2.3 trillion. Okay, we move around a little bit. And then France, 2.3, round about the same. So what I'm saying to you is, listen, this is how the world is set up. And being part of the EU means that we are a much bigger player when all 27 are together. And by the way, Britain was one of the primary movers in the EU. We set up the single market. We set up freedom of movement. We actually brought new countries into play. The whole thing of bringing the Eastern Bloc into play was a British idea. So within the EU we had massive positions, massive strength, massive opportunity, all because we had that position of being outward looking. The reason we don't sell our goods outside is because, and you know, we can go back to the Thatcher government and before, in fact, when we sold off the industrial capacity that the United Kingdom had. That had nothing to do with the European Union or, before that, the European Economic Community. Okay, guys, that's me finished. See you again.